Around the country and throughout the globe, farmers are focused on one thing: how to increase crop yields on limited acres of land in order to feed a growing population. Combine rotor loss in corn, soybeans, and wheat happens because of an overloaded separation section.
The main goal of harvest today is to get what you harvest and keep what you harvest. And the amount of material that's lost worldwide with these rotor combines is unbelievable. Rotor loss has always been a problem since the beginning of rotor combines. The companies who manufactured the rotors knew they had this problem because they had been testing, and they could never find a way to make it not be a problem. And all they did actually was put a monitor in so that the user can actually see what he's losing. But why they didn't investigate a little more and do a little more engineering and getting these combines so they won't lose crop, I don't know. But we have done that. And this was my whole goal for the last 4 seasons, was making something that would accommodate the farmer, making more money, and go faster in the field.
As a means to solve this issue, Don Estes of CM Welding invented the disruptor, a set of steel lugs installed inside the rotor separator section of Case IH and John Deere rotary combines. Next, Donnie Estes of CM Welding invented the thrashing separating system in 2013, which resulted in the RPR system.
I purchased my father's welding shop in 1960. I was a repair shop. We built different equipment, mainly repair in the beginning. Then I designed and sold what we called the Estes planter hitch, piggyback hitch. We sold those for 25 years. Then I got into rebuilding concaves, and I've been doing that for over 30 years. My disruptor invention back in '95 was the beginning of that. We only made them for the Case machines because that was the only rotor machine going back in '95 other than the New Hollands, and they never did have the issue. But then since the John Deeres came in, they had the issue from the get-go. Back in '99, I designed disruptors for John Deere combines. But if you're a John Deere owner or a dealer, you know that they're the best they are, and we're not going to spend any money to make them any better. So it wasn't until about 7 or 8 years after the STS combine came out that the issue was a big enough issue for farmers to complain about it. And so I introduced my disruptor part back in 2011. In 2012, we designed the front 2 concaves, which all 3 make up the RPR system. We have a thrashing concave, a thrashing separating concave, and a separating concave. I use round bars because, for the same reason that Case used round bars and John Deere did, they wouldn't plug up in high moisture corn. So that's the reason for the round bar. But what they had omitted in their round bar was something to restrict the flow. That's when I put the notch in. We found out that when we get the crop thrashed quickly, we need to get rid of it quickly. And so that was the reason for this progressively open bars. We are 68% more open than the round bar concave. So once we get it thrashed, we get it down on the augers and we get it out of the back to the separating system. Then, to make this an all-crop concave, we added cover plates. And the cover plates are used for small grains, milo, wheat. We use a couple cover plates for beans. With the RPR system, you can thrash any crop in any conditions, have cleaner samples, have less field time, and most of all, no rotor loss. That's what we've been working for ever since we started, was to stop the rotor loss, and we've finally done that.
All rotor combines usually lose between 1.5 to 4 bushels per acre when in the field. With our RPR system, you are retaining more grain, you have a cleaner sample, you're also increasing your ground speed and decreasing your fuel costs while also saving time in the field during harvest. A lot of people say that by 2050, the population is going to reach about 9 billion. Agriculture is going to be the leader in providing food to the world. There's a big concern that that will not happen. I believe that with the RPR systems, this could be achieved, not only here, but overseas, and that could be one of the main solutions to this problem.
With proven success, CM Welding brought in over $3 million in sales during the first 2 farming seasons that the RPR system was on the market.
We met Don about 2 years ago as I was having some issues harvesting a field of corn, and we noticed that we were shooting grain out of the rear end of the combine, and I was getting so frustrated. And I actually went and met with Don, and we ended up putting them in the combine that year. And just the drastic difference that we saw instantly on our own farm, I'm going to tell you, it was about 3 to 3.5 bushels. And you know, the way that I tell my customers that buy them from us, you know, it's all personal experience for me. The big thing is it's about putting dollars back in our own pocket. And anytime we can do that, that's going to benefit not only our farm, but also our family on that side.
Since the beginning of the RPR system back in 2012, I started with 15 customers, followed them with them the whole season. Everybody was super happy with it. The next year we went nationwide with the product. I think we sold 350 sets the first year, and my business has doubled every year since then. And we should go over 600-700 systems this year. I got a lot more distributors, I got a lot more dealers. My dealers, once you're a customer of mine, if you want to sell some RPR systems to your neighbors, you sign a contract that you'll purchase 3 more by the 1 calendar year, and you will be entitled to a discount for your efforts. A lot of my first-time customers last year that had 6 combines and they bought 1, they bought the other 5 this year. The thing works, and we're very happy with what we've been doing.
We've been selling for Don now about 1.5 years, really, and what's amazing to me is the amount that we've sold is almost closer to 50. But we tend to go to the farm shows, really, and show people what these concaves can do and how they can drive dollars back into their own pocket. But the customer satisfaction that we're getting for every single one we sold is just impeccable in my aspect of what we're hearing from our growers, really. One of the big things that we hear is just how much that they see a savings in the grain that they were putting on the ground that's actually going into their tank. And one of the other things is the durability and basically how many different crops these guys can go into with one set of concaves. To me, that's one of the biggest things and biggest advantages, let alone the money savings, but being able to use one set of concaves to do 6 different crops if you need to, there's nothing else on the market that compares to it.
So far, looking behind the machine, I'm thoroughly impressed with them. You know, we came out and set it. Compared to the older concaves we were running, we were finding about 40 grains, and we put these new ones in it, and it's hard to find one. Since we put the new concaves in, ground speed's gone from about 5 miles an hour. These new concaves, we've been able to speed it up to about 6.2, and seen a lot better results out of the back end of the machine. There's no grain coming out. I like the fact that we're gonna be able to put one set of concaves in and be able to cover every crop that we have, whether it's rice, milo, or corn, even soybeans. I'd definitely recommend them to another farmer.
We got to playing around a little bit this year, and come to find out John Deere's book says run feed accelerator and fast for wheat, which the feed accelerator breaks the head away from the stalk in good dry wheat. Got to playing around, slowed our accelerators into the slow position, and we were able to open the concaves up to around 16 and slowing our rotors to the 700 to 750 range and doing a cleaner, less cracked grain job than we're typically running the accelerator in fast and running the rotors at 900 to 1,000. Before, behind conventional concaves, you'd have 10, 12 grains a square foot, maybe a little more under the combine. Now we're able to get machines down to 2 to 6 on the high side under the machine. In all reality, you can almost literally mess up setting the machine and still do a good job.
Recently, I was proposed with the question, Donnie, what do you really want to happen with this system or with your business? And I said, well, this is a lot bigger than I could ever be. I need major companies to come in with me. We've made it so much better for all of my customers. The major thing was stopping rotor loss, and we've already done that. Getting companies to help me is my big thing right now. I'm getting older. I'm ready to slow down a little bit, and finding somebody somewhere that will feel the same way I do about the losses that we're having. Eventually, we can distribute this product around the world. I mean, it's good, it works, and I'm just too small to do it, so I'd like some help.
For more information, visit cmweldinginc.com or call 765-258-4024.